College basketball on the Mountain West Network is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. Well, the Dome of Doom can be a house of horrors for just about anyone in the Mountain West, and it's even more tougher for the Boise State Broncos. They're 11-2 all-time in Laramie and have lost 3 straight, and the Cowgirls will love nothing more than making it 4 in a row as the Cowgirls host the Boise State Broncos. And let's take a look at the Mountain West standings. And as you can see, Wyoming tied for 3rd place with a 6-3 record, but just 1 game behind them are Boise State at 5-4, tied for 5th place. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Justin Adams here with Steve Gosar. Steve, you're taking a look at 2 of the top defensive teams in the Mountain West. Wyoming, they average 63 points a game, and Boise State only gives up 60 points a game.
2 complete ball clubs. They play both sides of the court, and they do it really well.
Yeah, let's take a look at the players to watch, and let's start, obviously, with Boise State and what they bring to the table. And how about some hot 3-point shooting from Natalie Pasco, shooting 42% from downtown.
Well, you better not give her a clean look because she's going to knock it down. But once you start worrying about the 3-point line, she really moves well without the ball. She's going to back cut, and she can get to the rim.
Scored 16 points to the win against New Mexico a couple of days ago. But on the opposite side for Wyoming, how about Emily Mellema? Yes, she does it well on offense, but how about on defense, too, with 45 steals this season?
Well, I just talked to her before the game. She says she's feeling well. She wasn't feeling great against CSU, but she does so much for the Cowgirls defensively by keeping the other team out of the paint, and she's the best 3-point shooter for the Cowgirls.
Well, you know, it makes you feel a whole lot better. How about this? Getting a huge win at home as we take a look at our key matchups. And as you can see, the numbers, Mellema not only getting the steals, but how about those 14 blocks? Very important today for the success of the Wyoming Cowgirls. So will the Cowgirls continue to get a W and continue on their winning ways after beating San Jose State on Wednesday, or will it be Boise State going on the road and snapping a 3-game losing skid in Laramie, Wyoming? Well, you know what to do. Come back and find out as we'll have the starting lineups and tip coming up next right here on the Mountain West Network. Welcome you back to Arena-Auditorium as the Cowgirls get ready to take on Boise State. Justin Adams and Steve Gosar with you. And let's go through our keys of the game. Steve, it's going to be a tough one to score today.
Absolutely. I think Boise's really got to find a way to contain Furtick. That's been a big question mark for all teams that play Wyoming. And then I think speed up the game. More possessions, the more you can catch Allison Furtick between the foul lines is in their favor. The Cowgirls need to have more balanced scoring. Furtick's going to get hers, but everybody else has got to carry that load and then control the tempo. Less possessions favors the Cowgirls.
All right, let's take also a look at our starting lineups. Huge game for both teams. Obviously, we talk about Mellema, but you have Melina Peterson, Ola Ostowska, Tess Bard, and Allison Furtick. Yeah, keep an eye on her. She leads the Mountain West in scoring on the opposite side. Abby Muse, the 2-time Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. And let's take a look at the coaches, started with Boise State. And you know, Gordy Presnell has been there for 20 years, looking for wins 767 in his career. On the opposite side for Wyoming, how about this? Heather Zell, 3rd season with the Wyoming Cowgirls, 53-35 record, has done a great job with the Cowgirls. As you can see, we have some special uniforms today as the Cowgirls, usually in brown and gold, today are in purple and white, and that is to bounce cancer. There was a great event that was early on today just to talk about the importance of not only fighting cancer, but defeating it as well. Our officials for today, Michael Murray, Angie Lalite, and Arthur Green will round it out. As we're ready to go here at Arena-Auditorium as the tip is won by the Wyoming Cowgirls, and we are off. With a big game between both teams, what are some things you want to keep an eye on today?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Cowgirls always start off by letting Allison Furtick touch the ball. So we'll get a quick look at how they're going to guard Allison. But, great defensive play right there on that pass. Tipped it away, turnover for the Broncos.
Mary Kay Narrow, we call her NCAAW. Number 12 in the lineup. Player to keep an eye on today. Mid-range J up, no good, but immediately getting the rebound. Looks to be Muse, and it is. And the ball be knocked away. Shot, by the way, by Maya Hansen. She scored 17 points, was 3 of 4 from downtown against New Mexico.
Yeah, and right away the Broncos bring in Allison Furtick out away from the basket on a ball screen. And you know what? That's going to do 2 things. It's going to make it hard for her to contain that guard, and it's going to keep her away from rebounding, which she does best.
Muse with another shot, point blank range, couldn't get that one to go. And the Cowgirls would take over. Wyoming was able to get a W against San Jose State on Wednesday, getting that one on the road 77-64.
You don't get too many road wins in this league. It's so hard to get a road win, and that was a big bounce-back win for them after losing at home against Colorado State last week.
Melima to Tess Barnes, who leads the way in three-point shooting. Immediately we have, is that a kickball? Is that a foul? That'd be a kickball. Nope. Let's see, is that a foul?
That looked like it was a kickball down low. But I tell you, Peterson down on the block, I think, is their second most effective post player. She really can get stuff done down low.
And how about this? A beautiful inbound play to get the lay-in. Melina Peterson with 2 points. She became the 30th member of the 1,000-point club in program history. Scored 20 points against San Jose State on Wednesday.
Really working hard on the defensive end there, trying to keep that handoff from happening. Takes a lot of energy.
Tatum Thompson under the basket, tries to get to Scooper. Must be a lid on the rim as that one goes out of play.
They've had 2-point blank shots, and they've missed them both. So, yeah.
When you're talking about really good plays to drop, how about this one, Steve?
Oh, I tell you, nothing better than scoring out of an out-of-bounds play underneath your bucket. You got to love those.
Wyoming on the season averaging 65 points a contest. One of their struggles this year has been shooting from deep. It hasn't been a problem whenever you got the ball to the hands of number 45, Furtick, averaging 20 points a game in conference play. Will be a foul on the floor, though.
Just when you think you've got Allison Furtick, contained, she makes a great bounce pass to Peterson going to the bucket. Justin, for right now, they really haven't started to double Allison Furtick. They're really just, I was talking to their bench, their coaches before the game. They think by committee, they've got a little bit more size inside, and that they might be able to battle her and try to contain her one-on-one.
Well, how about this? Back-to-back fouls that are picked up on Boise State. And already you're seeing a substitution as Lalott will come in for Abby Muse.
Yeah. For an experienced post player like Allison Furtick, it's really going to be hard to keep that ball from touching her hands. She just knows how to seal so well.
Oh, what a one-legged shot by Melima. Emily Melima with the shot. It's really good to see her be able to score. She only had 5 points against San Jose State. Against Colorado State last Saturday, she was a little bit under the weather. Wasn't herself. Definitely her scoring output today against Boise State.
You could just see it in her face how sick she was last Saturday, and I tell you, she looks so much better out there today.
Thompson with another mid-range J, doesn't fall. Cowgirls again on the run. And they're going to call that a traveling violation on Peterson. All right, Coach, what happened there?
Yeah, just a one too many steps right there. You know what? You might be able to get away with that if you're in the NBA, but not in college basketball.
Well, Sierra had a song called 1-2 Step.
Yeah,
that was 1-2-3 step.
That
right
was
there.
1-2-3 step. You're damn right. So. But I tell you, right away, I think Emily Melima is already making her presence felt. She, is really on the defensive end. She has a great way of containing the ball. But offensively, she also can get into the paint and make something happen for the Cowgirls.
Lalott rushed it, was able to get an opening on the hook shot, just rushed into the painted area. So far, Boise State 0 for everything, and that's the way that the Cowgirls like it. They said, hey, we'll take 2, up 6-0. I wonder if Coach Presnell will call a timeout.
If they don't get a good shot and finish a play on this possession, there will be one coming pretty soon.
Broncos 0 for 6 to get things started. The floater, that's good. Off the baseline, Maya Hansen, the junior from Billings, Montana, scored 17 points against New Mexico. Able to get the first 2 for the Broncos.
And a little bit of half-court pressure there. I don't think they're really looking to trap. They just want to burn a little of the shot clock so you don't have to guard that Wyoming motion so long.
Well, the motion offense is working to perfection so far. 8-2 score.
Cowgirls are really getting some high percentage shots.
Lalott with another opportunity. Couldn't get that one to fall. So far, Boise State 1 of 8 from the floor. Oh, yeah. Melima down Broadway. Couldn't get it to fall, but there's Tess Barnes. Missed the first time, and perfect on the second time.
Just stuffing some stats there, getting an extra rebound.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
That's right. As long as you finish with the bucket, I don't think the coach cares too much.
Cowgirls up by 8, 10-2 early on. Boise State looking to do everything they can to get on the board, and Lalott finally does that. Stops a 6-0 run.
That one, she wasn't as afraid of Fertig's height and length. She just took that one, a good strong move, and just finished.
Do a little bit of a chicken wing in there, too. It's knocked out of bounds. And we'll have a couple of substitutions from Boise State as Mary Kay Narrow will come back in. NK, they call her. Let's take a look at Melima. Getting down the lane, couldn't finish. And then Tess Barnes says, you know what, I need another rebound to my stats, and then I'll lay it in.
One thing I see on that is, where is the defensive block out? There were no defenders in the paint. Tess Barnes was alone by herself. You should not be able to, you know, miss your bunny and then get it back and get another uncontested shot.
You know, Coach Presnell, Gordy Presnell, obviously been around for 20 years with Boise State. Has a couple of gray hairs. Anytime a coach sees that, it seems like to be another gray hair that just pops up in your head.
Absolutely. I like what he's done coming out of this, you know, out of this substitution here, coming out in the zone and giving a different look to the Cowgirls.
2 seconds, 1 second, and off the window, no good. Rebound by Boise State. Peterson couldn't get that one to fall. So far, Wyoming 5 of 8 from the floor.
And Allison Fertig's on the bench right now, and typically this is where the Cowgirls struggle offensively. That was a good look, especially against the zone. Peterson got a good look at the bucket, and typically she makes that.
And the shot is up and true. Beautiful J in for Boise State as the jumper by Tatum Thompson able to go. So she'll go to the line to shoot the and one.
That backside defense has got to be there to stop that ball. It doesn't matter what's happening on the backside. They don't have the ball. You better stop the ball and contain the ball.
More substitutions in. Taryn Gartner comes in. She only played 5 minutes against New Mexico. And just as you talked about Fertig, we said she was out for a little bit. She comes right back in the game about a minute later.
If you've got a cannon, you better fire it early and often. And I tell you what, Allison Fertig is the cannon,
you know,
for the Cowgirls.
Yeah, when you look at Fertig and how many minutes she plays about 31 minutes a game. When you start to get later on in the season, the games get more and more important. You start to see those minutes start to go up just a little bit. That stole it away. Nice job with the sticky fingers by Boise State. You're looking at the Broncos and what they like to do as Alyssa Christensen with a nice fake mid-range J, just too strong, and the rebound comes to the hands of Tess Barnes. Beautiful pass down to Fertig, and the foul will be on the floor, and that will be team foul number 3 on Boise State. And with that, we will step aside. Wyoming up 3 on Boise State with 4:27 to go in the first quarter. Wyoming leads Boise State by 3, and the 10 points that the Cowgirls have scored have all been in the paint, just the way that the Cowgirls like to play.
Cowgirls are shooting 62.5% from the field. I tell you, if they can keep that clip up, you know, that's going to lead to a real good ending for this game. But you're exactly right, and they're also out-rebounding the Broncos by 5. I think the Broncos really got to do a much better job making those shots tougher on the Cowgirls, and they got to get a body on them.
And when we talk about just the struggles that Wyoming has had, they've had their struggles from deep, only shooting as a team 32% from downtown. So scoring in the painted area is huge for them.
That's, you know, that is the consistency that keeps them in ball games. And when the outside shooting shows up, that's when they get the win. But they need both today. You need to have both when you're playing against good quality teams.
Look at it to get it to Dickerson. Beautiful pass to Fertig. She's double teamed, but it doesn't matter. Allison Fertig with her first 2.
Well, that's the presence. That's that veteran presence in there. She gathered that ball in. She didn't rush it. When they doubled her, that guard came by to sweep it. She just took her time. She finished the play.
Fertig scored 35, make that 34 points against Colorado State. Oh, by the way, she had 15 rebounds. Unfortunately, the Cowgirls were able to go and get a W as well, have a foul on the floor.
We were just talking about that. They need to get a body on someone. Maddie Simmons, her opponent missed the shot. You got to get a body on her. Make sure she doesn't get a second one. But they gave up an offensive rebound and another point-blank shot.
Well, Maddie Simmons, she scored 23 points all season long, but she's, you know, just a sophomore. She's going to get a lot of time. She's the future of this program.
They need, as this year goes on, it's a long season, and your body starts to feel it. That's when you really need to lean on your bench to come in and give you some good minutes. They're going to really need that bench. The Cowgirls are going to really need that bench down this stretch.
Libby Hutton at the free throw line missed both free throws. She came into this game a 52% free throw shooter. Guess you could say that's a good foul for the Cowgirls. Stauska. Alabama looking for some help. 13 seconds on the shot clock, and get it to Furtick. And what a block. That's going to be a foul. I don't know about that one. Interesting to see what the replay says, but it will be a foul on Alyssa Christensen.
That's the pass you cannot allow into the post. The one between the elbows up top. There's no way to really guard it. You can't get behind, the offensive player. They're going to get a great angle to the bucket. So you've got to really put ball pressure on between the elbows and not let them get that high-low pass.
Furtick, a 68% free throw shooter. Against San Jose State, she had 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Just another day in the office for the graduate senior from Glendale, Wyoming. Do you know what Glendale is, by the way?
I do. I love going up to Glendale.
Okay,
in the summertime. It's a wonderful lake up there. Great fishing, by the way, and one of my favorite spots in the summertime.
All right, you'll have to make some reservations to good old Glendale, Wyoming.
Well, they're going to miss her next year. She is going to leave a huge hole. She has been one of the best players the Cowgirls have had in the history of this program. She's fantastic.
But she's second in rebounds in the Mountain West. When you talk about her game, and right now, if the season would end, would you say she's the conference player of the year? Leads the conference in points, second in rebounds.
So, most valuable player, definitely. Because she does so much for this Cowgirl team, and she tracks so much attention. She does on both ends. You know what? She's a very good defender, and she's obviously, the leading scorer in the Mountain West. So if it's MVP, definitely.
I concur. She has been fantastic this season. Even tried to extend her game beyond the arc. Hasn't made a three-pointer yet this year, but she will. As that one's off the window and good. Beautiful shot by Cody Olilainen, the sophomore from Finland. Boise State has a score in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's going to continue as that one goes out of play as the Cowgirls on a 6-0 run. Maya Hansen back in for Boise State. And the Broncos only shooting 23%, 3 of 13.
All triggered by Allison Furtick getting back in the ball game. It's hard. When you're concentrating so much on her, it allows the rest of the team to have a few more openings.
Abby Muse doing a good job fronting her, but now Furtick has it, and now she's ready to go to work. She kicks it out. Yep, right back to her. Gets the positioning, and that's just easy money when she's right there. Furtick with another 2 points. Give her 6. An 8-0 run for the Cowgirls, up 18-7.
Boy, great kick out and repost. It opened up the middle of the court for Allison Furtick.
It's almost one of those things that you feel it. I'm surprised it wasn't a foul that was called on the floater. It's a miss. And here comes the Cowgirls. Have a 3-on-2 opportunity. Peterson stops the free throw line and loses the handle. Just didn't know where to go from there in transition.
We picked up the ball at the foul line. When you got numbers, take it to the rim unless somebody stops you.
That'll be a foul on Tess Barnes, and that's one of the things you look and say, okay, either you take it to the rim or you shoot it at the free throw line.
100%. It's a great shot. We were talking before the game how that's a forgotten shot in college basketball right now. Everybody just wants to shoot a three.
Mid-range game is one of the things that are missing so much in the game of basketball, and to me, it's one of the more deadly parts of the game. If you can shoot from the mid-range, you'll be able to make free throws and also step out and shoot threes.
100%. And, there's those games where you are not shooting the three ball so well. Well, take a couple steps in, see one go through the net, get your confidence up, then step back to that three-point line. You'll see a much better result.
Well, I'll tell you a team that needs confidence right now. How about Boise State? 3 of 15 from the floor. That's 20%.
They're really looking for some continuity of scoring or how they're going to get a good look.
Well, that one doesn't fall for Danny Bays. Another miss for Boise State. And if you're Wyoming, you got to take full advantage. You're up by 11 with 1:10 to go in the first quarter. looking to push that up even more against the #1 defense in conference play, and that should be off the fingers of Furtick. Nice defense by Abby Muse.
But great defense. Her length really just got a piece of that ball, just enough to move it off of Allison Furtick's fingers.
You're talking about the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in conference play, and 6'3" from Brentwood, California. Just Muse is great. There's a steal by guess who? Miss Bellama. Easy lay-in, and the Cowgirls are up by 13.
Boy, just reached her hand in there. Great second effort, fighting through that handoff to get a ball. Hand on that ball leads to an easy basket for the Cowgirls on the other end.
Just called Mellama sticky fingers. She's able to grab absolutely everything. Steal number 46 on the season. A 13-point advantage.
Oh, wow. Great call. Great call. That's a good call. She hooked her with that offhand, and I tell you, you just can't get away with that.
Well, how about this one, Abby Muse? That's her second personal foul. She'll have to come out. Let's take a look at Mellama getting her 46th steal this season.
Boy, just great effort right there to get a hand in there. And I tell you, you never want a turnover, but a turnover towards the top of the key usually leads to a breakaway, easy basket.
Wyoming on a 10-0 run, shooting 75%. They can get the final shot of the first quarter as the shot clock is off.
I think Coach Presnell wants to get out of this quarter. This has not been a great quarter for the Broncos. The Cowgirls have really had a lot of high percentage shots and have really scored at a high clip. 2 seconds, 1 second, got to put it up. Baseline J. Oh, just a little bit too strong by Maddie Simmons, and that will end quarter number 1. That's about the only thing that hasn't gone well for the Cowgirls. And they're shot 9 of 13. That's 69%, and they're holding Boise State to 18% on the floor. The Broncos haven't scored for the last 5 minutes, and the Cowgirls will go up by 13 after 1. Well, anytime you're shooting 69% against the #1 defense in conference play, you're doing something pretty good. Cowgirls have come out to a great start. It was 62.5. I didn't think it could get any better. And then he stretched it up to almost 70% from the field.
20-7 is the score. Cowgirls are shooting 9 of 13 from the floor. And on the opposite side, we look at the defense of what Wyoming is doing. They held Boise State to just 7 points, 3 of 16 from the floor. And get this is the first time Boise State has scored single digits in a quarter since scoring 6 points in the second quarter against UNLV. That was back on January 4th. See if the Cowgirls can continue the strong defense and also scoring. That's a hook, but no call right there by Mellama.
I think that was the same call, down at the other end that the Boise State got called for.
Well, Mellama will take the points, but clearly from our vantage point, it was a hook. A beautiful pass. Couldn't get that one to fall, though. It has been just a tough day for Natalie Pasco and the Boise State offense.
Well, there's a lid on the basket. They're getting some good looks.
Oh, Furtick decided to shoot a 3. Why not when you're up 15?
Oh, my gosh, they had the smile on her face. She said, I had to let it go. Coach, I got to get the first one of the year.
Well, Pasco able to go and finally get a shot to fall for Boise. It's almost 6 minutes since the last time the Broncos have scored. Dickerson double team. Oli Lyland. There's Mellama, holds on to the rock, kicks it to Dickerson. If she could score, spin it around, missing that one, and Oli Lyland knocks it out of play. But Boise State finally started to get some things rolling on offense, and sometimes all you need is a fast break bucket.
I think this is more possessions, speeding this game up, plays into Boise State's hands better. I think those are some of the opportunities. High percentage shots in transition.
More substitutions for the Cowgirls. Barnes back into the game, as well as Peterson. I like the way that Coach Ezell is substituting, as we'll have an offensive foul. That'll be on the Broncos. Didn't quite get who the number was on.
It was on 15. Christensen, it looked like there was a little bit of a moving screen.
Alyssa Christensen picks up the personal. That's her second personal foul. So you talk about 2 players with 2 fouls. You have Christensen with 2. You also have Abby Muse with 2. Muse not in the game, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West. It's all about taking advantage, trying to get the scoop and score by Peterson. The reversal doesn't go. And here's Boise State. Maya Hansen And that'll be a foul on Furtick, and Furtick knew it immediately.
You know, with those 2 fouls like we were just talking about, Justin, that puts a lot of minutes on Lalat's hands. She's going to have to play a lot of minutes here, and you know what? Those 2, when they come back into the ball game, we're going to have to play pretty clean basketball playing with 2 fouls.
When you talk about Lalat in her minutes, she only averages 15 minutes a game, so that's going to bump up a little bit. And then you're talking about doing it at 7,000 feet above sea level. Doesn't get any easier when you're playing here at Arena-Auditorium. Been a tough place for Boise to play. That'll be a foul, but hopefully it's not on 45. Let's see who's it on. It looks like the foul is going to be on Ostowska, so that'll be her first personal. If that was on Furtick, that would be her second. Stepping to the line, be Natalie Pasco, the junior from Danville, California. She knocks home the first one. Pasco this season averaging 13 points a contest. She also became the 3rd Bronco to surpass 1,000 career points against Colorado State on January 21st. Here's one big stat that I see from Boise State. You have a player like Pasco who leads the way in conference play when it comes to 3-point shooting percentage. No one for Boise State has shot a 3 yet, as Furtick with the easy 2.
Lena Peterson missed a wide open layup there. Thank heavens Allison Furtick was down low to clean it up.
Clean up on aisle 45, huh?
That's right. You know, the one thing about Pasco, I'll tell you, she's 1 for 3 from the field, but great scorers know how to get that ball in the bucket. You know what? She got to the foul line, knocked a couple down. She's starting to figure out how she's going to be able to score against this Cowgirl team.
Well, not a good shot there by Pasco, as we do have a foul on the floor. One thing I do see from Boise State as we take a look at Furtick's score, Boise State's rushing a lot of their shots. They're not taking their time. It looks like they're just sped up a lot. You see the miss by Peterson, and then Furtick right there to go and clean up the mess. And Furtick blocks it away. When we were showing you a replay, we're going to show you a block party when we come back. Furtick says, do not bring that mess to Arena-Auditorium. It's my house. But coming right back is Pasco. A nice inbound play by Boise State. And you look up, and the Broncos haven't shot the ball well. They're only down 11.
You would think that there's a bigger, scoring margin between these 2 teams just the way they played. The Broncos are just chipping away a little bit, getting to the foul line, get a couple, you know what, get a bucket. They got a little run going.
Just doing the little things. As Oli Leinen thought about a 3. Her tip of her toes didn't lift off the ground, so that's legal. Mellema, 4 seconds, and gets it to go. A little bit of window shopping on a Saturday.
Boy. With Mellema, Oli Leinen, and Peterson down there, they've put some low block scoring together to rival Allison Furtick today.
26-13 is our score. And it's really what you want to see, the balanced scoring. And, Mellema having 8 points, a step back for 3, the first 3 of the day for Boise, just off the front iron.
But with Pasco, it's tempting when she's out that far to go underneath. I just don't think you can give a steady diet of that. If she gets comfortable out there, she can knock those down with range.
She can knock those down from range. Me, on the other hand, I can't. If you look online, I had a video of me shooting a 3. It felt good out of my hand. There's a lot of air under the ball, I'll put it that way.
We thought you had it. We were there for you. We thought it was going down for a minute.
Well, it's the thought that counts. 26-13, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Peterson with the drive, pushes off a bit, baseline, Jane, nothing but net. Nice shot from the transfer from Kansas State. Peterson now has 6.
It's a big bucket for the Cowgirls late in the shot clock. That's not their cup of tea. But to get a bucket like that, 5 on the shot clock, that's a good takeaway.
Lalat going to work. Beautiful move. Couldn't get that one to go. And she wants the foul call, won't get the whistle. It's one thing I see from Lalat. She's getting positioning. She's getting the shot that she wants. It just seems like she rushes a lot.
I think she knows she's giving up a lot of size to Furtick, and a little frustration right there coming out.
And one of the assistant coaches is also telling Lalat to stop. Leapt out of her seat and immediately went to her and say, hey, look, you got to stop.
Well, and I think that that's wise. That was not the first bump on that play. That was the second one but she met Allison Fertig at the free throw line on the initial one. And, you know, you got to keep a cool head in these games, especially when, you know, two of your other bigs have 2 fouls.
And also you're down by 15, as that would be a jump ball, and a possession error will go the way of the Broncos. So you look to get any momentum you can, and maybe that could spark something for Boise State. Yeah, this is a team that has struggled anytime they've played in Laramie, Wyoming. 11-2 all time, has lost 3 in a row here at Arena-Auditorium. Nice passing around the horn, leads to a lane for Tatum Thompson.
There we go. You know what? That stop led to an easy basket at this end. You know what? That's how you got to put a little run together. It's not just scoring, it's scoring and getting stops at the other end.
You see the defense starting to clamp down a bit on Wyoming. The motion offense doing work so far as the Cowgirls are shooting 61%. Peterson, take the mid-range J, why don't you? A little bit too strong, though. You know, that's a good shot for her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, she is very crafty. She's a very crafty scorer. But one of the things that Boise's doing is they're not letting the Cowgirls get that motion offense going side to side. They're really keeping it on one side of the court, and it's kind of grinding it to a halt.
Thompson now with 7 points, and like you said, it is kind of grinding it to a halt. More of the perimeter, more horizontal rather than getting vertical, and now it's leading to bad passes, as that's knocked out of balance by Boise State, but that could have been a turnover.
Oh.
So it just shows how this game can go. Yes, it's an 11-point spread, but Boise State slowly starting to climb themselves back into this one. Boise State at one point were down by 15 points, now only down by 11, and Natalie Pasco is one of the main reasons they're starting to come back in this game.
Oh, she's just chipping away. She's finding ways to get that ball in the basket. Sometimes she's getting to the foul line, and you know, if you're struggling to shooting from the outside, that's the best way to get on track. Get to the foul line, see a couple go through the bucket.
Pascal was 6 points in the second quarter. When you look at what Boise State did in the first quarter, they only scored 7. So get this, Pascal's has almost scored as many points as the team did in the first quarter alone.
Well, they've added 10 more percentage points on their field goal shooting, so you know what? It's going in the right direction for the Broncos.
Well, it's not tough to do that one. They're shooting 25% from the floor. But you know what? Turnovers do help you out, and that's a big one coming out of the break.
Great defensive effort by Christensen, and she never saw it at all. She was totally face guarding Allison Fertig. She put her hands up and blocked the pass.
You know what we call that? Great defense.
That's right.
15 seconds on the shot clock. Boise State shooting 25%. They're a three-point shooting team, and that one misses absolutely everything. Off the mark by Danny Bays.
You know, both teams have, neither team has hit a three-point shot, but they've only shot 3 for the game. You know, I thought we'd see more from these two teams already, but you know what? I think, you know, they're both getting shots within the three-point line, and they're not having to shoot so many.
Well, that's shot number 4. Missed, but Fertig there to rip it away and get the lay-in. Fertig, she has 10. And for Allison Fertig, this is another time that she has scored in double figures and almost getting a steal. Yes, getting a steal. And on the way to the bucket, the lay-in with the left hand. Yes, sir. Emily Melima with another 2.
Definitely feeling better today. I mean, her energy and what she's been able to do on the defensive end has been crucial for the Cowgirls.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that Dama Tab is working overtime today.
And, you know, you can see it in their face. You can see it in their body language with her. Her activity on the court is so noticeably different than it was against CSU.
Foul on the floor against Dickerson. That's her first. So then Boise State to the line. And that's Tatum Thompson who knocks home the first one. By the way, Tatum Thompson was the Mountain West Player of the Year on January 20th, shooting 47% from the floor in league play. That is the 5th highest in Mountain West. This is the second free throw. It's a 14-point advantage, and that's just a rocket ball. Look out if you're in the front row.
I think Melima took a couple of photographers out there with that pass, but I will tell you this, Christensen is playing with 2 fouls, and you can tell she's playing with 2 fouls. She's being very passive with Allison Fertig. That doesn't work.
Not against the player who has the most points in conference play. Beautiful spinorama by Maya Hansen. It just feels like this is a 20-point lead for Wyoming. It's only a 12-point advantage.
These two teams have just been playing nose to nose. You know, neither one's getting ahead. You know, the Cowgirls just can't deliver that knockout punch right now.
Oh, Peterson wide open for three. Nothing but nets. You better put a hand in her face or she'll knock it down. Three-point bucket for Peterson. That's her 28th made of the year. 15-point advantage. First three-pointer made in the game. Double team, nice defense, and it's stolen away. Guess who? Mellema, her third steal in the ball game. 3-on-2. Back to Mellema. Shoot the three, why don't you? And she completes it. She gets the cookie and the cream. 18-point lead. Timeout, Boise State.
That's a great timeout, boy. That was so big. Emily Mellema here in back-to-back possessions. One with the breakaway and the steal, but then to come back down and knock down the three ball.
Wyoming on a 6-0 run over the last 35 seconds. They are firing on all cylinders. And it's funny when you take a look at the last shot. Mellema just looking around saying, wait, nobody's going to guard me? Okay, I'll shoot it.
I think Emily said, hey, I heard somebody say that the Cowgirls are not delivering that knockout blow. Well, here's one for you.
18-point lead for Wyoming, and they've shot 4 from 5 from the floor, or 4 rather, have made their last 4 field goal attempts. But Wyoming shooting 63%, Boise only 30%. And the steals, believe it or not, Boise State has more steals, 5-4, but those 4 steals by Wyoming have been very valuable. Getting those points off of turnovers. Wyoming with 9 this afternoon.
Muse checked it back into the ball game. They really need her to get going.
And this is the mid-range J. Wyoming. Get it to Furtick. Man, nothing you can do there. Oh, a little bit surprised that wasn't a foul that was called. Would have been a third on Muse. Well, that'll be a block. And with her hand over her face, Heather Zell can't believe that wasn't called. Broncos got to take advantage. Haven't made a three-point shot yet. Stepping back, log 3. Oh, just way too short. This by Danny Bays. And we'll have a foul, and that's going to be on Muse. And if that is on Abby Muse, that will be her third.
Justin, that you got away with one potentially down here on the defensive end. That's a silly one right there. Allison Furtick had the rebound corralled. Why stick your arm in there and pick up a senseless third foul? That's the one that'll make your coach's your hair turn gray.
So with 3 fouls, now you got to take out the 2-time Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. And you're already down 18. If you're Wyoming, you got to get this over 20. By the way, Furtick already has a double-double. 10 points, 10 rebounds. Nice movement of the ball by the Cowgirls with 10 seconds on the clock. Double team every time on the perimeter. Ustowska launches a triple. Falls to the ground, misses it. But Dickerson there for the rebound. No good rebound. Grabbed and snatched away by Christensen.
The Cowgirls, I think, are going to make a run here late in the Mountain West season. Ola Ustowska's got to be able to hit that three-pointer. Her and Tess Barnes have got to start hitting those consistently.
Ustowska will shoot the 3. She's shooting 31% from downtown.
Thompson goes to the line, and this is some needed points for the Broncos right here. She's got to get a couple of these.
By the way, Pokes fans, the 2025 Mountain West Basketball Championships are right around the corner. All season passes and hospitality packages are still available, and priority seating deadline is February 22nd. Don't miss the Pokes in Sin City. Visit gowyo.com/tickets to get yours today. And if the Cowgirls play like this in the Mountain West tournament, they could be dancing. 6 seconds on the clock. Mellema, 3 seconds. 2 steps back. 3 on the way. And that's off the mark, and that will end half number 1. just about the only thing that didn't go right for the Cowgirls as they lead by 17. Melamo leads the way with 13 points, 6 of 8 from the floor, and Furtick has a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds. On the opposite side, Boise State only has 9 points, being led by Tatum Thompson. A lot of work to do as we go to break. I think we're a little bit more excited about what's happening with the halftime special that we have here at the arena. Justin Adams and Steve Gosar with you, and it's just a fantastic score we have so far as the Cowgirls are up 38-21. It has just been a tremendous first half of the Cowgirls.
Oh, they've been hitting on all cylinders, and what they couldn't do last weekend against the CSU Rams, they're doing today against the Boise State Broncos.
Well, it helps out when you have Melima finally healthy. She was a little bit under the weather last week, but let's take a look around the Mountain West as the Cowgirls are sitting at 3rd place in conference play. But you see you have 3 teams in the top 100 of the net: UNLV, Colorado State, and lastly at number 97, Wyoming. We also have Linda LaCroix, who is named as the Kathy Delaney Smith Coach of the Year, LaRock rather, in the mid-season watch list. And then Mia Jacobs, look, 4th in the NCAA in double-doubles. And then Furtick, look, you can say all you want about her. She has been fantastic, has shot 50% or better in 17 straight games. That is a Mountain West record. Just impressive.
She's been fantastic, but each and every Mountain West team has got a star scorer on their team. This is a very difficult league to play in.
All right, let's take a look at the upcoming games for the Cowgirls and also for the Wyoming Cowboys. And again, for the Cowgirls, when you look at their schedule, and what we're going to have here are the Mountain West Network. Very important for the Cowgirls in order to get a W, especially when they take on the Air Force Falcons. That'll be on February 12th. We'll carry that game right here on the Mountain West Network at 6:30. But you see the Cowboys, 2 important games coming up. One against Utah State, one of the top teams, and then UNLV. Back-to-back tough contests.
Now, there's no off nights, in the Mountain West, but I tell you, this is the last month of the season, last full month. You've got to be playing your best basketball here in February so you have some momentum going into March.
March is right around the corner, which means the games are that much more important. And so far in this one, Wyoming having their way against Boise State. Up by 17. We'll continue on with our halftime show. Wyoming up by 17 on the Boise State Broncos. 38-21 is our score. Justin Adams as well as Steve Gosar. You know, Steve, you were a guy when you played at Wyoming, you like shooting from the perimeter. So far, the Cowgirls are making everything happen from the painting area, scoring 28 points in the first half.
And only 10 of those are from Allison Furtick. You're getting 18 points from the rest of the team. That's Peterson, that's Melima. Those are high percentage shots. That's why they're shooting so well for the game.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights and a lot of ballot scoring that we have. 2 players in double figures for the Cowgirls. You have not only Melima with the 13 points, but Furtick with 10. And it's easy buckets like this are the reason why the Cowgirls are up by 17.
Oh, they're getting a lot of really good looks. And I tell you, we've seen Boise State shifting up their defenses to try to contain this a little bit. They did a little bit better towards the end of the first half than they did at the beginning of the game.
Well, you look at Wyoming, they're on a 20-7 run after 1 quarter of play, and then Melima decided to step in and have a little bit of fun. Yeah, we talked about Melima and the points that she has. She has 9 points. Make that she has 13 points. She also has 2 steals, and this is one of them.
Her at the point has been big for the Cowgirls, but her presence has been felt more on the defensive side of things. She's been disruptive. She's been able to get some turnovers and some breakaway steals for some easy baskets.
Call those sticky fingers, as she has done her job today, leading the way in scoring for the Cowgirls. And as we look at the first half statistics, Wyoming shooting 54%, while Boise State shooting 27 from the floor. For a team like the Broncos, who do a very good job of shooting the 3-ball, 0 for 3 from downtown, something really to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. They're going to have to shoot the 3 and knock down some of those 3-point shots if they're going to get back into this ball game. But they're also going to have to do a better job on the glass. They're down 8 to this really good rebounding Cowgirl team.
Now you see Wyoming able to grab those rebounds, 8 more rebounds then the Broncos, if they can continue that way, they'll be able to go and get another win at home. But will Boise State be able to mount a huge comeback? Find out when we return. Cowgirls just 20 minutes away from their 13th victory of the season. Got some work to do as they're up 17 on Boise State. You see the uniforms for Wyoming. Again, today is all about bouncing cancer. So they're wearing their purple uniforms today. A great ceremony was held at 11:30 this morning at Arena-Auditorium. Had a nice walk around the arena, raising money in order to fight cancer. Cowgirls up 17, shooting 54%. And they'll start their first possession with their normal lineup in.
Boise State coming out in that zone. They had a lot of success with this with the Cowgirls, making them pass it around the perimeter, get late in the shot clock, and hopefully that the Cowgirls don't get a good shot. But if they're going to do something in the second half, they got to start with a stop.
Well, I tell you, we're not even 30 seconds into the second half, and this game has already been tough for Boise State. It's going to get a lot tougher. Their best defender, Abby Muse, has just picked up her 4th foul. Abby Muse hasn't played a lot in this game.
Justin, we were just talking about that too, how an early foul could really hurt the Broncos here, especially inside with Christensen and Muse.
Boise State getting a steal. And one of the things you always talk about is what do you do in the first couple minutes when you start in the second half, especially when you're down big? Well, that's a good start as a bucket goes in for Boise State. A lot with 2.
That's good action. I think, you bring Allison Fertig away from the basket. The further away she gets away from the basket, the less effective she is.
I'll tell you who's always effective. Fertig, another 2.
If you let her get that close, she's going to score a lot of points.
Fertig with 12 points, also 11 rebounds. Another double-double for the fabulous senior. Well, if you're Boise, what's the score you're looking to get it down to? You're down by 17. What would you say is, hey, if we get it down here, we'll be comfortable in order to get a comeback?
Get it into single digits, by the 4th quarter, and then you've created a little bit of momentum for yourself. But if there's a lot that can happen, there's a lot of basketball in 1 quarter.
Try to get the entry pass to Tess Barnes and miss the mark.
That pass from the wing, if you're going to throw it up over top, you got to put a little bit more air underneath it. Those posts are battling for position down there. You got to give them a little bit more time to go up and get that ball.
Barnes comes out. In her place will be Dickerson. Lalott going to work. Beautiful move by Lalott. Just misses the bunny. Lalott, she's had about 4 shots like that today.
Yeah, she's had some point-blank looks. That was a little dream shake there.
Well, you don't have to worry about the shake when you get the ball that low, and Fertig able to take it home.
Yeah, Lalott got lost between the foul lines. She's got to do a much better effort to keep up with Fertig down the court.
Well, remember Lalott, she averages 15 minutes a game. She's had to play a lot because of foul trouble. Muse, and that rolls in and out, but Muse has 4 fouls. So I would imagine we won't see her until, 5 minutes in the 4th quarter? And you played a lot of Christensen as well. She's at the scorer's table. A lot of backups Boise State has had to play today. Here's Fertig with it. She'll take her time, spins around, a lot of contact, no call. And misses the shot. Here comes Boise State. Down by 19, looking to get any bucket they can, and that will help. Scoop and score by MK, Mary Kay Nero.
The consistent scoring that the Broncos are getting here is in transition. Their best shots are in transition right now.
It's hard to get in transition when you're giving up buckets. And Fertig with another 2. Allison Fertig now at 16. 6 points to start off the second half.
Boy, Fertig and Lalott are really banging down low there. And I tell you, Lalott's really trying to keep her from getting that deep post position, but there's a lot of pushing here between the foul lines.
Well, it's interesting. I had a chance to talk with one of the assistant coaches for Boise State. Talk with Mike Petrino and have a great relationship with Coach Petrino. And I asked him before the game, hey, how do you stop Fertig? He quickly said, pray. So far, got a lot more praying to do. It's Dickerson. gets the kind roll. Everything falling so far for Wyoming. Biggest lead of the day, up 21, and the Broncos need to talk it over.
I just don't think you can try to, I mean, Hansen tried to go with the flop and get the offensive foul right there, but she gave up a great shot.
Well, Dickerson with a good shot. Broncos up by 21. Just a dominating effort at home. Wyoming in the third quarter on an 8-4 run. How about that? They're 4 of 5 from the floor, and scoring a lot of points is one of their best players in the game, Allison Fertig. She has 6. But take a look at the foul trouble for Boise State. That's one of the main reasons why Fertig is having her way at home.
Oh, absolutely. And Coach Presnell is just scratching his head right now. You know, if you didn't think that the Cowgirls could score it any better, they started out the second half scoring 80% from the field.
2 more timeouts remaining for Boise State. Double teamed immediately. The defense continues for the Cowgirls. And a foul in the backcourt. Oh, and Coach Presnell couldn't believe that foul was called.
And that was fortunate it wasn't Christensen, because she was right there. You could see that, you know what, she could have got tangled up in there. That would have been costly for the Broncos.
The Broncos dealing with all the foul trouble. As Fertig, again inside, a lot of contact, no call, but she'll get her own rebound and lays it in. Easy like Sunday morning for Allison Fertig.
Well, you know, if you don't first succeed, keep with it, try again, and that's what's been working for Allison Fertig if she misses that first one.
Another steal for the Cowgirls, and slowing things down will be Peterson. It started early for the Cowgirls, up 20-7 after 1 quarter of play. Just kept their foot on the gas. Up 23, their biggest margin so far. And Dickerson looking to make it 26, and she does just that! McKinley Dickerson, a 26-point lead. And that's a steal. Or is it? Nope, it's going to be out of bounds.
And I couldn't quite see that. That was over there right in front of Coach Presnell.
Yeah.
And I think Peterson stepped out of bounds. We'd have to take a look back at that one.
Well, McKinley Dickerson knocks down the 3. We're having the referees go into the scorers table for one reason or the other. I think that they were just confused about that. So, in any case, we'll figure things out, but there's one thing you don't have to figure out. The Cowgirls on a 13-2 run over the last 3:44. They lead by a bunch. Wyoming has 6 steals today. Almost had number 7. Take a look at this.
Boy, great effort by Melina Peterson. Look how she keeps that ball alive, tips it back in. And unfortunately, everybody else sitting around watching it too, but she steps right in. I'll pick that one up and try to take it back the other direction. But great effort. You just can't do that.
Okay, Justin. So what's the rule? The rule is what you go out of bounds, you have to reestablish yourself, or somebody else has to touch the ball?
Yeah, somebody else has to touch it. You have to reestablish yourself to back in bounds, but somebody else has to touch that ball.
There was no one else around, so she had time to reestablish herself, probably take her midterms, and then shoot it back.
Yeah, I tell you, I think everybody just thought she was out of bounds because you could see everybody just standing around thinking it was going to come out of bounds again.
Nice play out of the timeout. Tatum Thompson for 2. That stops a 9-0 run by the Cowgirls.
Well, I tell you, the Cowgirls have come out this second half and have really been getting after Boise State, shooting that high percentage from the field again. And, you know, Boise's got to find some scoring. They've got to speed this game up. They got to try to do something different. If this game continues the way it's going, this is going to be a Cowgirl win.
Yeah, well, nice move by Tatum. Oh, even when she's at the window, it gets shut.
It's just one of those days. It's one of those days for the Broncos.
Fertig takes on not 1, not 2, but it takes 3 players to get the ball away from her. In transition, Boise State looking for anything they could get, and that won't be it. An offensive foul on Mary Kay Nero. Her second personal foul.
And she just didn't need to do all of that. Hansen's going to get a nice open look for the 3 ball. But a moving screen just negates that. It's another turnover. Cowgirls get the ball back.
One of the things that we talked about throughout this broadcast is a beautiful pass and lay-in. Peterson with another 2. It's just been about Boise State finding ways to slow down. They just seem to be just sped up so much that they can't get a quality shot at the rim.
Yeah, well, and then as soon as they go back to the man-to-man defense, they give up an easy inside shot right there with Milena Peterson. So they're really torn whether they should be playing zone or man, but they're struggling defensively, and that is the big key to today's game.
3 players in double figures for the Cowgirls, Peterson as well as Mellema and Furtick. Dickerson will take a seat as well as Mellema. As Tess Barnes is back in, Ustowska. Peterson in as well. Barnes can shoot the 3 ball. I haven't seen her shoot a lot of triples just yet. Nice move. The hook shot no good. Rebound by Thompson.
Boise came back to that zone. They said, hey, we're giving up too many easy looks on that man-to-man. We better put some zone defense to work.
Well, transition 3 is what they do, and Taryn Gardner couldn't get that one to fall. But that's been one of the better possessions that Boise State has had in this game.
That's their best looks, Justin, is out of transition. And you know what? If you're down 26 points, you've got to start thinking, we got to get, some shots to fall. Let them fly in transition.
Missed 3-point bucket by Peterson. On the rebound is Maya Hansen. Hansen, the junior from Billings, Montana. Long 3-point shot. That's off the mark. And rebound by the Broncos. And it leads to a lay-in. Much needed shot by Gardner, the freshman from Spokane, Washington.
Long shots lead to long rebounds. They're a little bit harder to block those ones out and get those rebounds. And so that plays into Boise's hands. But I like it. I like it. They're being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more loose on the offensive end.
And Peterson getting those quality shots from the elbow. 55-29, coast to coast, no sir, as Nero couldn't get that one to fall. Well, they want to run a little bit. Oh, had a player right under the bucket, wide open. Just couldn't find Logan, as Alvar was wide open. So you get your offense rolling. Cowgirls shooting 56%. Nice drive, and Cody with a nice Cody Oli Lyland.
Boy, that was a beautiful drive. She picked it up off that dribble with one hand, just reached out there and flipped it up for a bucket.
Cowgirls shooting 57%. Boise State has made 1 field goal in their last 7 tries, and the crowd is wondering why there wasn't a foul call.
Alvar had that ball down deep. All that she needed to do is just get it up on the rim.
Oli Lyland could get the lay-in to go with the left hand. Up court, Nero, that's good. So Mary Kay Nero with 4. Makes it 57-31. And it almost looked like Boise was trying to foul.
Yeah, they are.
I think they want to get a substitution. And they will, as Maya Hansen picks up the personal foul. That's her first, team 4th. They will have a couple of substitutions.
Well, I like what Boise State's doing here. Quick shots, they're really pushing it in transition. I thought that's something that they should have come out with. But you know what? They fell into letting the Cowgirls dictate the tempo of this game, and that just played right into the Cowgirls' hands.
Oli Lyland been playing solid minutes off the bench. Dickerson back in now. Back to Oli Lyland. 7 seconds on the clock. Dickerson going to work. Spin move. Going to work. Misses that one. Rebound by the Broncos. Under a minute to go. 57-31, Wyoming. Dominant performance by them. A wire-to-wire lead so far. Trying to improve to 7-3 in conference play will be a foul on the floor, and that'll be against Dickerson.
It's the first foul for the Cowgirls in this 3rd quarter, so, that didn't hurt them whatsoever. They really need a bucket here. It feels like the Broncos need something to build some momentum going into the 4th quarter.
Well, they're outscored by 9 points, 19-10 in this quarter. As we all know in the game of basketball, things could change at a dime. It's a great opportunity for them. Lalott spinning around, hook shot, that's good. See, that's a good possession by her.
They started out this 3rd quarter with a ball screen with Lalott and bringing Furtick away from the basket. it's taken the whole quarter to get back to that action. That's great action. I'd go right back to it in the start of the fourth quarter.
Lalott with 6 points. Cowgirls holding the ball for the final shot of the third quarter. Scored 19 points. Mid-range J up. Nice block. Barnes with it, though. Well, everything going the way for the Cowgirls as the horn sounds. It's been a dominating game so far by Wyoming, up 59-33. Cowgirls scored 21 points in the third quarter, and they are well on their way to getting their 7th conference win of the year. Even when you stop them, Barnes right there to clean up the mess. Well, earlier before the game, Allison Fertig was honored for her heights, and as well as one of the other players, Miss Peterson, who has done a fantastic job. She became the 30th member of the 1,000-point club in program history on Wednesday night. And both players are having a fantastic game this afternoon. And Steve, when you look at what they're both doing, Fertig with 18 points, 13 rebounds. It's just been fantastic from this team. Peterson also with 13 points. She had 4 assists in this game, too.
Oh, boy, I tell you, those are 2 legends for the Cowgirls. It is so hard to score 1,000 points in your career at this level, and both of them have done it. And then on top of it, you know, you've got Fertig, who's got another 1,000 rebounds. That's even harder.
Wow. I believe she's a 3rd player in program history with 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. But you think about that with Fertig, and you mentioned this early on as a nice shot by Lalott, as she'll go to the line and shoot the and one. But with Fertig, you're going to miss pretty much 20 points a game, a double-double machine. You just have to figure out a way how to be able to replace that.
Oh, and I tell you, she has been there night in and night out. She has been so healthy. She's been a workhorse, showing up every single night and doing that. That has been an amazing part of her career, is how she has stayed healthy, how she has been able to deliver night in and night out.
Oh, Dickerson with the beautiful head fake. Easy lay-in for Dickerson.
Where's the ball? Who's watching the ball?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
where's the backside defense? That's where you got to, the ball scores. You have to know where the ball is at all times, so you don't give up easy baskets like that.
The #1 defensive team in Mountain West play, having a tough time just stopping Wyoming. And one of the main reasons has to be because of the foul trouble. That's one of the biggest things that has happened in this game. 4 seconds on the clock. Boise State has to force something up. The floater misses absolutely everything, and that'll be a shot clock violation as Jada Clark, the senior from Richland, Washington, with the miss.
Well, I think the Cowgirls took that personal. You know, they said, hey, we're a pretty good defensive team too, Justin.
Right.
How about this for them?
Number 2 in conference play. That's the Cowgirls. They came into this game allowing 63 points a game. That's going to go down. Still the starters in the ball game. Fertig going to work, spinning around. Nice job by Lalott defensively. See if the Cowgirls will go right back down. Yep, Dickerson on the opposite side. Rushed that one and missed it at the cup.
Oh, boy, she was wide open. Great basket cut by Dickerson.
I don't know if we'll see the starters for Boise State down by 25 as the clock continues to run. Lalott going to work and couldn't get the one to fall off the window. There's a lot to like about Lalott. She's coming to this game and had to play a lot more minutes than she normally does, has 9 points, and that's knocked out of bounds.
And I would agree with you 100%. She's had some good looks. You know what, there's just one of those nights, you know, the ball hasn't found the bottom of the net. But I like how she's competed, especially on the defensive end. She has bodied up Fertig, and she doesn't go for the fakes. She holds her ground, and I think that is to her credit. That's made it hard on Fertig to score when she's in the ballgame.
Somebody put your hand in Peterson's face because she almost made another one. As that goes out of bounds off the hands of Boise State. Another nice play that was called by Heather Ezell, as you see her on the screen. Just a nice inbound pass. If it works right the first time, then do it again. This time, able to connect is Peterson. She has 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds.
You don't score 1,000 points in your career without having a little bit of, savvy on how to score. And boy, that is exactly what she did there. Great basket cut.
And is that Ostowska on the ground? Yep. And she holds on to the ball as she has a huge smile on her face. And Boise State will still have it as the lot will come out. And Abby Muse comes back in with 4 fouls. Abby Muse hasn't played a lot in this game. And foul trouble, one of the main reasons why, as the lot has played 15 minutes. But Muse not playing a lot this afternoon. Only played 5 minutes. Get this, because of foul trouble, the 2-time Mountain West Player of the Year has only played 5.5 minutes in this game.
It has been, wow. She picked up one right at the beginning of the game, and that really just set the tone. She has just really never been able to get into the flow of this ball game, and that's been huge. They rely on her so much, for their scoring and defense, and when you take a big piece out of your team like that, boy, there's a huge hole to fill, and it's not every team can fill that hole and play good.
Wyoming has scored 50 points in the paint, so get this. 50 of their 63 points have been in the painting area. If Abby Muse doesn't get into foul trouble, how much does that change things?
Oh, 100%. And the rebounding disparity is not such a big gap on this one as well. But, yeah, the Cowgirls are shooting 55% from the field, and that is in that paint scoring. You're not going to beat, if you're Boise State, you're not going to beat the Cowgirls giving up 55% from the field.
By the way, they're looking at possession, and it looked like for Wyoming that Ostowska was out of bounds, and she was. And they're also looking at the shot clock. So the shot clock will reset to 20 seconds. With 7:31 remaining in the fourth quarter, just a game that's been dominated by the Cowgirls. Led 20-7 after the first quarter, up by 17 at halftime, and led by 25 after 3. So they've just been able to up their lead all afternoon long. And for Boise State, looks like it's going to continue. Sitting at the top, that this has been a house of horrors in Laramie. It's been that way, and that's another missed bucket. Should have been a shot clock violation, but Furtick will take the rebound. And Allison Furtick with 18 points. Get this, 15 rebounds.
Boy, just another night for Allison Furtick. Just big numbers.
Stepping back. Oh, the head fake. The floater in the lane is good. Oh, Melima. Why you have to do Boise State like that?
I tell you, that's that mid-range. I tell you, the Cowgirls have really softened up Boise State. Haven't shot a whole lot of threes. When they did, they've knocked them down. But that mid-range shot has been fantastic.
Well, even when you do get an open shot, couldn't make it. Lindsay Larovich missed that easy one. Boise State shooting 29% from the floor. Barnes kicks it out. Mid-range J on the way. That's nothing but nets. Melima with 17. Great to see number 2 in white back to her old self.
Emily Melima is 8 for 11 from the field. She's in fuego.
And Barnes with the block. Oh, the block party. Everyone's invited. And as you say, in fuego, how about this from the Cowgirls rather? 56% from the floor on an 8-0 run.
They really are playing good basketball. If you're Coach Azell, you are really liking this because it's February now, and we've got 1 month until we get to that conference tournament. This is when you need to start playing your good basketball, hitting on all cylinders.
Shot up and good by Josie Stedman, the redshirt junior, as Furtick. She is triple team. Somehow gets her own rebound. Kicks it out to Barnes. For 3. Yes, sir! Oh, Melima! Give her 20! And it is officially a blowout. 70-38. Cowgirls up by 32.
Boy, what a difference a week makes. I tell you, just the body language, the fun that the Cowgirls are having out there. It's just a complete difference to the frustration they felt last week against Colorado State.
We'll take it out on Boise State. Melima does just that. A little hesitation on the dribble and some window shopping.
She gets 10 of 13 on the day. high percentage shots. But, wow, what a wonderful game Emily Mellema's having today. So big for the Cowgirls.
72-38, another steal, and Mellema doing the bidding. Quick pass to Peterson, down to Furtick. Guess what's going to happen? Yeah, you guessed it, off the window. The Cowgirls have blown this game wide open. A 7-0 run, 15-2 over the last 5 minutes. 74-38. And another miss. And the Cowgirls will slow things up as they are up by a bunch. And Coach Heather Zell is going to have time to empty out the bench.
Justin, I've watched the Cowgirls a lot this year. I think this is the best basketball I've seen them on both sides of the court. The way they're sharing the ball, moving on offense and defense, they are really locking down Boise State.
And that will be a foul on the Broncos, as Furtick will go to the line. So you take a look at the numbers. Mellema with 20. Mellema with 22, rather. Furtick with 20. Peterson with 15. And it's just been that type of afternoon. Arena-Auditorium is roaring as the Cowgirls up 72-38. Well, it's time for our Wild Lotto play of the game, and we have to talk about number 2 in white. Yes, that's Emily Mellema with not only one steal, but how about we go coast to coast twice? This one in the second quarter, really opening things up for the Cowgirls.
She's been fantastic on both sides of the court, been so disruptive defensively, but has added that second, scorer for the Cowgirls today that has been so needed and so missed recently.
Mellema, when you talked about her last week against Colorado State, only played 12 minutes, wasn't herself. You see what she brings to this team when she's able to go and bounce back.
Well, that's that energy. You could see, when she's there because you see the energy on both sides of the court that she brings, and you know when it isn't there, and she just didn't have it. She was sick last week, and you could tell immediately when she got on the court.
Furtick making her first free throw. She now has 21. And if you want to watch Allison Furtick and the Cowgirls, well, guess what? You need to make sure that you go to Sin City. Yeah, we're talking about the Mountain West Championship. Pokes fans, the 2025 Mountain West Basketball Championships are right around the corner. All session passes and hospitality packages are still available. And the priority seating deadline is February 22nd. Don't miss the Pokes in Sin City. Visit GoWild.com/tickets to get yours today. So Furtick will leave the game with 22 points, 17 rebounds. She was named the Mountain West Player of the Week, and she is a strong contender to have back-to-back honors. As the Cowgirls empty their bench, so does Boise State. And shot is missed, and we have our rebound. Nice head fake. Skip pass, almost threw it out of bounds. We're able to go and reel it in. Were the Cowgirls. Well, when you look at Wyoming and what they were able to do in this game, just a dominant performance, this is what you want to see for your team, especially when you get to February. You'd want to see your team peak. And, Steve, I tell you what I've seen from this team today is a team that is ready and hungry to play. And, we have a player that I think has rolled their ankle. We'll see if the referees will call anything on that, as that'll be a 3 that's up, and it is good for Boise State. But we'll have a whistle as Ali Heckman was able to knock down the triple. Fortunately for Wyoming, Caroline Lundin, the freshman from Copenhagen, Denmark, looked like she rolled her ankle.
Yeah, it looks like she just landed on another foot there, and gosh, you hate to see that unless, late in the ball game like that, somebody get hurt at any point in the ball game, but especially late in here where just getting into the ball game, you want to use those minutes and make the most of them.
She is limping her way off the court. Ooh, tough to see this. Let's see if we can see another look. Here it is. Watch her right. Oh, yeah, right on the heel. Never want to see anything like that. Hopefully she will be okay. Cowgirls lead 76-41. Odie Lyland with the drive and the lay-in, and that's good and one. Oh, man. body. Only Lyland with 2.
Boy, that was just identical. I mean, a replay of a previous play from her. Her strong to the left hand. She's left-handed, but just a strong drive and a finish on that left side of the basket. She's found a lot of success over there this year.
Oli Lyland now with 7 points, and she'll be one of the players to keep an eye on. And look, you have to build around certain players, especially when you're going to lose Furtick after this season. Oli Lyland will be one of the players that will be relied on for the Cowgirls for the next couple of years.
She's very talented. She shoots the ball so well from the outside. Great basketball IQ, and she passes the ball so well.
Stedman off the mark with the triple. As Boise State shooting 29% from the floor. And Wyoming shooting 57%. It's just been one of those games where, and you have this from time to time. It started off tough early on, and it just continued. Simmons stepping through, couldn't get that one to go. 90 seconds remaining as the Cowgirls will win their 7th game in conference play. Foul on the floor with the take from Jada Clark. Well, let's fast forward some things a little bit when you talk about Wyoming and what they have to face coming up. For the Cowgirls, you see how well they're playing. Well, guess what? They won't play until next week. So to have the rest of the week off, they'll return and be on the road where they'll take on San Diego State. And anytime you play on the road, that is a tough place to play.
Absolutely, but having that a little bit of a break here, coming off a win like this, boy, that just makes that break just that much better. You're going to enjoy it a little bit more after coming off a game like this and get rested up for a big game on the road with San Diego State.
Jocelyn Igo checks herself into the ball game. It's always great to see some of these players who usually don't get a chance to be able to play to be able to come in now. Heather Carl's daughter in.
And
as you take a look at the upcoming schedule, you're at San Diego State, then you're back at home against Air Force, and then San Jose State for 2, and then you take on Boise State. You don't think they'll be circling that game?
No, they got to be looking ahead for that. You know, on these games like this, you know, not the best effort. You know what? They didn't shoot the ball well. They got in foul trouble, and the Cowgirls really just, you know, had controlled the tempo and controlled this ball game from tip to, you know, to soon to be buzzer. I think, you know, as you're Boise State, you've got to learn from this. You've got to learn from your losses. You got to figure out, hey, what gets us beat like this? And then try not to repeat it again, but then forget this game. You got to move forward. You got ball games. You got a lot of basketball still left in the season. You got to find the positives and move forward and try to keep building on those.
Nice take by Lorovich. One of the things that we talked about when I played in college was just flush it. And that's one of the things you have to do is sometimes you say, hey, you know what? This game, yeah, it happened, but you know what? We flush it and just got to let it go and move on to the next one. And for Boise State, they have a couple of tough games that are coming up, as that'll be a steal by the Broncos. They'll be at Nevada on Wednesday. Then they'll take on Colorado State, and they'll be on the road against New Mexico. So you got to forget about this one as fast as possible.
Absolutely. And you can't let one big loss become 2 big losses. You've got to nip this in the bud, and you've got to find a way to turn this thing back around and get a little momentum, get a win.
Well, it's a standing ovation for the brown and gold. A great victory for Boise State, a wire-to-wire victory, and they're going to take this one across the finish line as they dominate the Boise State Broncos 79-45. And with the win, the Wyoming Cowgirls improved to 13-9, 7-3 in conference play, and the Boise State Broncos fall to 15-8, 5-5 in the Mountain West.
I have not seen a better tip-to-buzzer, performance from the Cowgirls all year long. As a whole team, I've seen individual performances, but not as a full team. They were really impressive today.
Well, I hope you like the number 22, because that's exactly what we saw from Allison Furtick as well as Melima. Both with 22 points. Get this, not only have they combined for 44, 19 of 27 from the floor. They just had some fun out here and were dominant all afternoon long.
When you're scoring and playing so well like they did today, how can you not have fun? But you did see a bunch of smiles out there. You saw them, you know what, pointing to their teammates about great passes, about great defense. And That's how you know you've got great chemistry, you know, and you're playing basketball, your best basketball at the right time of the year.
Well, for the Cowgirls, they will have the week off, and they will return on February 8th to take on San Diego State. And you know what? It's a much-needed time off that they would need. As you can see, Coach Heather Ezell saying, hey, this is what we can expect all the time, to be able to play like this, and they were just dominant this afternoon.
Absolutely. Now build on this. You know what? Bring this type of, you know, effort, intensity, cohesiveness, and confidence. This is a different confidence today that we saw out of this Cowgirl team than we saw a week ago.
Let's take a look at the other side for Boise State. Tatum Thompson, the only player in double figures. She had 11 points. Now let's hear quickly from Emily Mellema. Now you see Emily Mellema, she has the mic, and she's speaking to the faithful as we take a look at the final stats in this game. And again, dominant performance by Wyoming. They almost have twice as many made field goals than Boise State in this game. Also 4 of 11 from downtown. But look at that rebound advantage. If you're going to get more shots at the rim, you got to get more boards. 15 more rebounds than Boise State. They had the effort. They were able to make their shots. They were able to get the lead early, and they sustained it throughout the day.
They just beat them up in the paint. That's really the tale of this game, is just the beating up of the paint. They just got better, higher percentage shots. They knocked them down. They got a lead. They got a little bit comfortable. And then the 3-ball opened up for them and really put this game out of reach.
Well, on the afternoon where it was about bouncing cancer, yes, not only bouncing it, but beating cancer, it was the purple and white, not the brown and gold, who was able to get the W over the Boise State Broncos. So for everyone here at Arena-Auditorium, I want to let you know that our next broadcast will be on the 4th, where Utah State will take on the Wyoming Cowboys. For Steve Gosa, I'm Justin Adams, saying so long from Arena-Auditorium. Once again, the Cowgirls get the victory, 79-45. So long, have a great afternoon, and God bless.